can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
You was in playing ball during the time of inequality. Like you was literally like,
Oh, 70s? Are you kidding? Okay, so here's what you're talking about.
right,
You're talking about going to hotels and saying, no, colored only.
Right.
Down there.
Right.
Going to water fountains.
Right, and you in the
Once
NBA.
you get, once you get past the Mason-Dixon line.
right,
And you can't stop till you get to your grandmother's house.
Right.
Anymore, because you can stop for gas, but you can't stop for no food. And that was real, man. That was real. And I lived during that era. I met some interesting people who historically made differences. I spent time, aforementioned Bill Cosby, Miles Davis, Arthur Ashe, Reggie Jackson. I mean, we had meetings to talk about pooling our money to do something in the black community that was going to make it better for the kids, the next generation, and whatever. And, several of those guys are not here anymore. Miles is not here. Arthur Ashe is not here anymore, but their legacies live on in terms of getting through the 70s, excelling with whatever it was they were doing, whether it was stand-up comedy, music, or whether it was tennis, as Arthur played, or Reggie Jackson, hitting 4 home runs for the Yankees, back to back to back to back, becoming Mr. October.
Yeah.
So, those are times that I will never forget. And I just saw Reggie less than a week ago and whatever. And we just sat and, reflected on what has happened, what's happening now, and how much is different, and some of the things that are still the same. That are still the same and haven't changed, and shame on that.
So coming from, you realize things hasn't changed, but you see the opportunities have risen a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
than it was
yeah.
back then.
The world's different. Is it for the better? Probably, because of the technology, the science, the educational opportunities that are out there for us, the business opportunities that are out there, particularly for us, for people of color or whatever. But, there's still people suffering, and there's still poverty. We still got people living on the streets. And, we're spending money, with wars in other places in the world. And, the deficit will never be remedied. But I think from a political standpoint, and I'm not a aggressively political person, you got to take care of home first. And there's so many people suffering here at home that we're turning a blind eye to.
Dr. J, if you run for president, I'm going to be your biggest donor.
Yes, sir.
Julius Erving for president.
Come on with it, man.
Off the court, I've seen so many people give you credit for giving them like style and class. Like Charles Barkley always tells me that like dealing with fans was because of you, or like the way MJ would dress was from you. Where did your style come from? Like who gave you that?
Well, you know what, my first wife, she wouldn't let me leave the house unless everything was just right. She said, you represent the family when you leave the house, so you can't wear that. And she was serious about it. I had the same agent as Clyde Frazier. So, Clyde Frazier was Mr. Cool, and Clyde took me shopping a few different times, so I wouldn't exactly buy what he got, but I'd get my own version of it. Because Clyde was just on another level. And he's an Atlanta guy too, so we were up there in New York hitting stores, and Clyde is like, "Yeah, man, get that." And I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna get the classy version of it, not the gangster version of it. You got the Rolls Royce, so I'm out here driving a truck, So we had fun with that, and those are two really good influences, and I guess you have to credit yourself because you putting it on and you wearing it, and you sometimes have to represent what you're wearing. And especially in the 70s, when the fro was big and the platform shoes and the bell bottoms and all that kind of stuff. And I had this image of Dr. J on the court and Dr. J off the court. And I didn't want to be Dr. J off the court.
Right.
I wanted to be Julius Erving. So I had to tone down, a lot of my dress so people would address me as Mr. Irving or J.W. or Julius.
You heard him.
Shaq, I want to say something to DC. As he's telling that story, Dr. J, and I think about those iconic pictures of like Rucker Park, where there's like all those people out there, and Dr. J is known as Black Moses. Like, I would love to see DC Youngfly and his guys do a movie like of that era of basketball. I just think they would do it so well.
Production.
Oh, let's do it.
Production.
Let's do it.
Go ahead and get a Dr. J movie in. Come on. Teeth the finger round.
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to tell you. But see, I think everybody kind of like added to the culture. And like you said, we have to continue to show the younger generation like where we come from for real. Where a little bit of everything come from. Like, yeah, I mess with AI. Yes, I mess with Mike. Yes, I mess with Kobe. But it's like my IQ of basketball stops there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the younger generation, it stops like right there. And it's like it be so much before that. It's the reason why you see a LeBron James. You see all these greats now, and it's like, who inspired them?
Yeah, the powers that be, that was probably, it was during your era, Shaq, when NBC had the contract or whatever, and they didn't want to go before 1992.
That makes a lot of sense.
The pro game started in 1947.
Right.
And it started being televised consistently in the late 50s, early 60s, and whatever. In 92, I left basketball in 1987. ESPN didn't exist or whatever. So, you know, the highlights, the shots of the week, plays of the day and all that, you know, that stuff didn't exist, man. That stuff was after 1992. So there's a lot of people, generationally speaking, who think the league started in 1992. But it started considerably before then.
Like you said, I've seen you, but I haven't physically seen you. I've seen clips. I've seen how you've inspired others. So just to be in your presence, it was like, I've heard so many great things about you.
Hopefully I don't let you down.
You know what I'm saying? You don't, but it's just like, it's the same way.
When
Like
you
with
get
Shaq.
around somebody, you know, who you admire, idolize, or whatever, and, you know, it can be a letdown real quick.
It can, because you don't know them.
They can just flip you the bird and say, you know, I'm busy.
But it's more so. I admire what you did for the culture. I understand it because, like you said, when you get off the court, you want to be Mr. Julius Irving.
Yeah.
When I get off the stage, I'm John Whitfield. I'm not DC Young Fly.
Who that?
What's your name?
Who's that
John
again?
Whitfield.
Who's that again?
Man, don't do that. Don't do
What?
that. OG, I got
on,
respect
what?
for you, but you get two more. That's one.
Hold on.
You get two
Hold
more
on.
now.
Hold on. Your name is what? John what?
Oh, man, he said Whitfield. My
hell
middle name is Winfield.
Oh,
Okay, so we good.
Lord.
It's Whitfield and
Winfield, man.
Okay.
I was not.
Take the one back then.
That's
You
my
still
W
I was
right
not
there.
expecting that.
Get three.
Say that one more time. Your name is.
Whitfield. Shaquille O'Neal. Like, your name rhyme, ugly ass boy. The hell? I ain't never met nobody named rhyme. Shaquille O'Neal.
Name is John Whitfield.
Easy on that.
Real name
Hey, man,
Jerome.
we got the same initials.
Yeah, Jerome. Yeah, Jerome. I guess yours rhyme too. Jerome Chrome. Ugly man. He put you in it. He put you in it. You green, you in. Jerome. His name Joe. Hold up. Not quite like that. Jerome. His name John Whitfield. You in school with somebody named like that, huh?
Hey, Adam, do white families argue back and forth like this?
Well, they're Nigerian, so it gets like heated, and I don't understand half of the words they're saying.
Unplug his damn computer.
Oh no, his wife is Nigerian.
His wife.
Yes.
You asked him about his people.